What if Kevin Durant isn't the most important piece of the Houston Rockets' new puzzle? The blockbuster deal that brought Durant from Phoenix to Houston was massive, instantly reshaping the team's identity and expectations. Yet, the Rockets' true success may hinge on something deeper than adding another superstar scorer. The development of young talents Thompson and Sheppard could end up being the real story. Their growth and consistency will determine whether Houston can sustain Durant's impact, balance his minutes, and remain competitive deep into the season. And that's where things start to get more complicated. That complexity centers on what some analysts are calling the Durant illusion. On paper, adding one of the most skilled scorers in NBA history should instantly elevate Houston into contention. Durant's experience, versatility, and ability to create his own shot from anywhere on the floor are undeniable assets. Yet his arrival also presents an intricate challenge for a roster built around developing talent. For players like Şengün, Thompson, and Sheppard, consistent offensive opportunities are essential for growth, and balancing those needs with Durant's natural on-ball tendencies won't be easy. The difficulty lies in how Durant's game interacts with the team's existing rhythm. During his final season in Phoenix, Durant averaged 26.6 points per game on exceptional efficiency, converting over 64% true shooting. That level of precision makes him an elite scoring option in any system, but it also demands frequent offensive touches. Houston's coaching staff, led by Udoka, must find ways to utilize Durant's talent without allowing the offense to revolve around him. Otherwise, the younger players risk becoming passive participants instead of active creators, something that could slow the team's long-term progression. Udoka's challenge is to design an attack that leverages Durant's presence rather than defers to it. The idea isn't for him to dominate possessions, but to bend defenses in ways that create open looks for others. Even when he isn't the focal point, defenses instinctively shade toward Durant, opening driving lanes for Thompson and catch-and-shoot chances for Sheppard. This spacing effect, often described as his gravity, is what could truly transform the Rockets' offense, so long as his teammates are ready to exploit it consistently. Ultimately, the Durant illusion isn't about questioning his greatness. It's about recognizing that his success in Houston depends less on raw scoring totals and more on how effectively he empowers those around him. The young core must prove capable of converting the space and mismatches his presence generates. How well they do that will determine whether the Rockets can evolve from a star-driven experiment into a balanced, sustainable contender, and it brings focus to a different kind of advantage that might define their season. Much of that balance depends on the one player who has quietly become the team's defensive cornerstone, Thompson. His selection to the All-Defensive First Team last season was a rare feat for someone in just his second year, signaling not only his maturity but also his immediate status among the league's elite defenders. Thompson was the only player in the NBA to average at least 1.3 blocks and 1.3 steals, underscoring just how disruptive he is on that end of the floor. His performance forms the backbone of Houston's defensive identity and gives the Rockets stability as they blend veteran leadership with youthful athleticism. Thompson's defensive value extends far beyond individual matchups. His versatility allows coach Udoka to adjust schemes without fear of exposing mismatches. Thompson's combination of elite length, lateral quickness, and explosive athleticism enables him to switch seamlessly between perimeter assignments and interior help defense. In a conference loaded with scoring guards and versatile forwards, that adaptability has become indispensable. His ability to close out on shooters, disrupt passing lanes, and recover quickly after rotations gives Houston the freedom to pressure opponents without compromising structure. Statistically, Thompson's defensive presence transforms Houston's tempo. His steals and blocks not only generate extra possessions, but also ignite transition sequences where the Rockets' youth can shine. Many of the team's fast break opportunities begin with Thompson forcing turnovers or deflecting passes, turning defense into instant offense. When the half-court sets stall, his ability to push the ball and find teammates in stride keeps the team's rhythm alive. This two-way influence has been critical to sustaining consistency through long stretches of the season. What makes Thompson's defense even more valuable is how it complements the roster around him. His reliability on the perimeter allows Udoka to focus the team's energy on maintaining spacing and flow rather than overcompensating for defensive breakdowns. That stability gives Houston's lineups flexibility to experiment offensively while remaining sound defensively. With that foundation in place, Houston can afford to explore more offensive creativity from its younger players. And one of those emerging voices in the backcourt has already begun to reshape the team's direction in unexpected ways. Reed Sheppard's unexpected rise has quickly become one of the main storylines in Houston's evolving backcourt. With veteran guard Fred VanVleet sidelined by injury, Sheppard's rapid development has forced the coaching staff to rethink their initial rotation plans. In his 3 starts last season, Sheppard averaged 19.7 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 4.7 assists, numbers that highlight both his scoring touch and playmaking instincts. Although the Rockets dropped those games, they came against playoff-level opponents while several veterans were resting, making his performance stand out even more. His composure under pressure suggested he might be ready for a larger role far sooner than expected. Coach Udoka faces a pivotal decision. Starting a young guard on a team built to win immediately is always a risk, but the potential payoff is significant. Sheppard's emergence could not only stabilize the backcourt in VanVleet's absence, but also help manage Kevin Durant's workload over the long season. The organization views his ability to orchestrate the offense and sustain scoring when Durant sits as essential. If Sheppard can maintain that balance, it can preserve the veteran's energy for the postseason grind. Within the Rockets front office, some even regard Sheppard as potentially the most important player on the roster heading into the 2025-26 season. What makes Sheppard an ideal fit is his offensive clarity. His quick reads and willingness to move the ball create a fluid rhythm that prevents possessions from devolving into isolation sets. The recent preseason win against Utah offered a promising preview of this system in action. With VanVleet unavailable, Udoka distributed the playmaking load. Alperen Şengün led the effort from the high post with 13 assists, while Sheppard's perimeter shooting forced defenders to stay honest and open space for others. His spacing allowed Thompson to attack the rim more effectively and kept Houston's offense balanced across multiple creators. More than a short-term solution, Sheppard represents a broader shift in how the Rockets structure their offense, durable, adaptable, and built for both the present and what's next. That forward-looking design sets the stage for an even larger idea emerging within Houston's strategy. The Houston Rockets strategy now revolves around what has been described as a 2-timeline blueprint, a deliberate effort to win immediately while developing for the future. The roster reflects this balance clearly. Kevin Durant and Jeff Green bring a combined 34 years of NBA experience, while the young core of Alperen Şengün, Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., and Reed Sheppard accounts for roughly 13 combined years. This kind of composition is unusual for a team trying to contend, and it creates an inevitable tension over playing time and offensive roles. Analyst David Aldridge has pointed out that Houston's gamble lies in finding the right balance between Durant's ball-dominant tendencies and the free-flowing rhythm needed for player development. He specifically cautioned that relying too heavily on isolations. Layered into that calculus are 2 present tense realities. First, Steven Adams is on the floor, bringing the brick wall screens and glass eating that let Durant hunt cleaner catches while Şengün orchestrates. Second, Fred VanVleet is out for the season, which accelerates Thompson and Reed Sheppard into heavier late clock and initiation reps. Bumpy in spots, but exactly the kind of pressure that forges the future timeline. What separates Houston's version of the 2-timeline strategy is how complementary the skills between the groups actually are. Thompson's defensive versatility protects Durant from heavy defensive burdens, allowing him to conserve energy for offense. Reed Sheppard's shooting and quick decision-making stretch defenses and ease pressure on Durant to create off the dribble. In this setup, the younger players don't just coexist with the superstar. They support the very structure that enables him to thrive. That synergy already showed up on the road in a double overtime. 1-point loss to the defending champion Thunder. Without Jalen Williams in their lineup, proof that Houston's blueprint can hang on a big stage. They're a contender now, and if VanVleet returns healthy next year, Durant keeps most of his step, and this group stays intact, you're looking at a serious contender. Rather than serving as a model for other franchises, Houston's approach stands out because of how directly his roster construction ties development to winning. The coaching staff views improvement from the younger players not as preparation for later years, but as an immediate factor in the team's success now. When Thompson improves his defensive discipline, it directly translates into stronger transition play. When Sheppard steadies his decision-making, it keeps the offense fluid even when Durant rests. This shared responsibility reinforces a culture where growth and contention depend on each other. Case study, opening night in OKC. On the road against the defending champs, Houston dragged the Thunder to double overtime and lost by 1. Steven Adams brought the sledgehammer screens and boards, Durant got cleaner touches, and with Fred VanVleet out, Thompson and Sheppard took on extra creation without the offense collapsing. And yes, we hear you. Jalen Williams didn't play. When he's back, it won't be that close. Maybe. Only time cashes that check. But 2 overtimes on ring night with real chances to win says the 2 timelines can already punch up. That's why we watch. So somebody gets the text told you so later. The true test of this blueprint will come against the strength of the Western Conference, where disciplined, cohesive teams like Oklahoma City and Denver leave little margin for imbalance. Whether Houston can maintain this delicate alignment over the full season will reveal how effectively their 2 timeline experiment can hold under real pressure. In the end, Houston's ceiling won't be set by Durant alone. It'll be defined by how quickly the kids turn reps into reliability. If Amon's defense keeps erasing mistakes and Sheppard's decisions keep the ball humming, Udoka can live in that sweet spot where the vet's close and the youth tilts the math. Opening night hinted at it, the blueprint travels. Clean up the turnovers, keep the spacing honest, and let Adams do the blue-collar violence while Şengün conducts. Do that against OKC, Denver, and Minnesota from November to May, and you're not just interesting, you're in every series. Contender now, and if VanVleet returns healthy next year, and Durant keeps most of his step with this group intact, circle serious contender. Until then, we watch, argue, and text told you so, like it's a sport of its own. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and we will help you watch this season unfold.